Outdoorsman. A little bit about our trip from Baltimore to Phoenix, and from Phoenix to Seattle, and then Seattle to Juneau. It was our trip to Alaska, and it was a fabulous adventure. When we were in Seattle, I wore my Columbia jacket, my Asics tennis shoes, and my Fry Brewing Company hat. They are stationed in Mount Airy, Maryland. They have great beer, so if you're ever in the area, I'd highly recommend them. Seattle was a very, very cool city. I loved the fact that the baseball and football stadiums were outside the city, but they had a very robust transit line to get folks from in the city out, and they had lots of very well-defined and well thought out interstate highways that allowed people to get in as well. There were so many cool things to see, except it rained really hard while we were there, and so we missed out on some of the adventures that we could have had. And as we were traveling from Seattle on the Princess Cruise Lines up to Juneau, one of the things that really surprised me that I had just never thought about was the fact that the mountains rose directly out of the ocean. And one other thing I'd like for you to look for is, as we were approaching Juneau, I caught a glimpse of a whale. So please check that out, and hopefully you'll be able to see me seeing the whale. I was super excited. So let's get started with today's adventure and get outdoors. Okay, outdoorsmen, we are definitely getting ready to go here. As you can see, the big boat is there behind us, and getting ready for a great adventure. Stay tuned.
We're in reverse.
Okay, guys, outdoorsmen, we are definitely en route.
It's really cool.
Seattle.
I think we should get things kicked off
Okay, I think maybe the third yeah, I think so. No,
We are heading west and heading north to Alaska.
yeah.
Stay tuned. Alright, outdoorsmen, we are in British Columbia waters at this point, and very interesting how we go from the edge of the water very quickly to the mountains. bombing up and down the Pacific coast. All right, outdoorsmen. As you can see, there is not a lot of land there behind me, and we are 100% at sea today. So it's been a very cool experience. Sometimes sun where you could see long distances, and then as it is right back there behind me, we're kind of socked in with fog right now. Pretty amazing how our early forefathers traveled with just a compass across massive expanses of water. All right, folks, well, as you can see, there's still very little visibility. We are on our way to Skagway after we go to Juneau. Our first stop of the trip will be in Juneau. So it would be awesome if we could see a greater distance, but right now it's very little visibility, and we're just going to keep traveling on. Hopefully tomorrow morning when we wake up, we'll be able to see land and be able to share some awesome footage of perhaps orca or humpback whales, maybe even check out some porpoise surfing the wake at the back of the boat. So stay tuned for all the upcoming awesome details to come from this trip. There's our first view of Alaska. It's an island. There's a little spit out off the edge. And then you can see it rises literally directly up out of the water. So try to zoom in here and see if you can see the waves crashing on the shoreline. The white that you are seeing capping up there are the islands. So, a terribly cool experience. And it looks like the clouds are trying to lift, but they are hanging in pretty hardly here this morning. More adventures to come. Man, you get some massive wave crashes off in the distance when it comes into the island. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a spot out there. Looks like it's crashing and they're jumping 10 or 15 feet. Tough place to try to put a boat in. Off in the distance you can see another island. In and out of the fog you can even see others. I'm assuming that these are the Aleutian Islands. And, oh, there was a whale. I don't know if you can see if I can see that. It may have gone under at this point. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. My wife's not super fond of looking over the edge. It's a little steep. It's probably 80 feet to the water. We are about 4 hours south of Juneau. You can see the islands.
pretty cool. They are, many of them not very big, but most of them are heavily forested with coniferous trees of one type or another. It's really quite interesting to experience the fog that is part of the day so far. I would love to see it when the fog is lifted, but it's what we're given today, so we're going to be thankful for the experience, and I'll zoom back out. Quite beautiful. Here you can see it much better. It's amazing how the trees, it looks like they're fairly short, how well they hide that entire stream there, where it's coming off of the snow at the very top, cascading down, all the way down, right to the water's edge. Very pretty. There you can see how all goods and services come into Juneau on these massive ferry barges. See a building there, a couple of trucks, a boat, a trailer, and then a bunch of sea containers. Very interesting to see. I guess supply chain isn't quite as big a deal here in Alaska.
Watch the tram car, please.
For the Mountain House. We are ascending 1,800 feet above sea level on the only aerial tramway here in southeast Alaska. Gold Belt Tramway is owned and operated by Gold Belt Inc., which is a local Alaska Native corporation. We were built on August 10, 1996. We will be passing through an Alaska temperate rainforest, which averages 90 inches of rain and 100 inches of snow per year. Some of the trees you may notice are the western hemlock, the Sitka spruce, and red oak.
There's an eagle.
The Sitka spruce gets its name from a Tlingit island called Shiatika Hot. It has since been changed to Baranof Island. It has small, sharp pines, but it is the largest spruce in the world. So fittingly, it's the state tree of Alaska.
How is the eagle
The
sitting in
western
the top of
hemlock
the
are
tree?
similar looking trees with the droopy tops. The Tlingit people found this wood handy for making utensils and combs. The red alder are the green leafy trees you see. Its uses include smoking salmon. After the summer harvest, much of the food was preserved and stored. As we venture down to the Sky Bridge, we have Gold Belt Tram Gifts. This is truly one of Juneau's finest gift shops. It features a gallery of genuine artifacts, so go on in and admire the quality work. Or at times visit with a local carver who does much of his work right there in the gallery. And while at Gold Belt Tram Gifts, you can pick up your souvenirs or a variety of other Juneau mementos.
In a rainforest here in Alaska, obviously a temperate rainforest. To see you can see a species of moss, almost like a Spanish moss hanging off of the trees here. Have to figure out what that is. Way down in the distance, can see, there's our ship.
A little bit about my experience getting from Seattle up to Juneau, which was our first stop on our cruise. The food was very good. Um, the upside of being an unsponsored vlogger is that I can give the unabashed opinion of truth as I see it. And I will have to say that although the food was very good, the food that we have had when we were on Carnival cruises was better than what we had on the Princess cruise line, but I will tell you that the food was still very, very good. The fog was very intriguing and terribly frustrating at the same time. It created a bit of mystery as what was around the next island that I might be able to see, but it did not allow me to see as far as I certainly would have hoped. And then the other really, really interesting thing for me was that the little islands, sometimes probably not more than 100 yards square, were just absolutely covered in pine trees. And like the water crashed up against the edges of them and they were still covered with pine trees. So that was one big thing that I took away from the cruise from Seattle up to Juneau. So until next time, let's get outdoors.